Okay, so the final match we have are the tiebreaker. This was originally going to be a 4. This was originally going to be a 4v4, but since we tied, the last match is going to be Mythos, who is using Secret Roy Paladin, going up against Oracle Think Tank Dhan. Dhan is usually known as a Shadow Paladin player, so the fact that he's using Oracle Think Tank means anything could happen in this fight. Oracle Think Tanks in general are really strong right now, so we have to see what happens. Not to mention Mythos is using this clan. I don't know how much practice he's had using the deck, or how long it's been since he used it, but he has told me that he has been wanting to use Royal Paladins for some time now, so anything could happen. Mythos goes first, riding Leanne. Rests and puts Marin in a drop to draw. His deck seems kind of old school right now, but he has said to me that he's probably using a Majesty Lord Blaster style deck, which is technically not the more serious of the two builds he could be using, but I trust his judgment enough for him to make it through. Takes the first hit, and it's a trigger, which means Mythos doesn't have to guard this. Psychic Bird appears on the opponent's side, and that means he takes the 2 damage. Blaster Dark and Morden. Akane appears, and he can counterblast 2 in order to call something from the deck. Wait a damn minute. This is Mythos' old deck. Yeah, this is his old deck, the one that has multiple Wingle Braves. I at least hope he updated it with Legion and Stride. Because running MLB with Seeker Alfred is actually a really good idea. Gets a draw trigger. The damage right now is 3-1, but Mythos. I'm gonna say right now he kind of allowed it to come to this, so I'm pretty sure that he has an idea of what to do about it. Dan called the Psychic Bird to put it in Soul and get a draw. He lost a 10k shield doing that. 8k to the Vanguard. Draw trigger defends that. Mythos no guards the Vanguard, and a Battle Sister appears. Mythos heal triggers, which means he can put that heal trigger in drop zone. If he does have Legion, that means he's gonna. And there's MLB. It's a good thing Mythos went first. No guards. Perfect guard and Jewel Knight critical. Then go Brave into Soul, looking through the deck. And Blaster Blade to the hand. So on the next turn, Dan has Stride, which will probably give him his defensive options to deal with MLB's 22k 2 critical attack. Oh wait, he didn't ride. $15k to the Vanguard is blocked. 14k to the Vanguard can be blocked just as easily. 2 to pass. Critical trigger all to Tom. And perfect guards this one. Dropping to Leanne. Dan shuffles in the heal trigger, hopefully to use another once again later. Blaster Blade appears, counterblast 2 to kill Tom. And he doesn't have Blaster Dark, nor does he have a booster for the Vanguard. So this is a 2-pass. First check is Blaster Blade, and second is Leanne. I've seen a lot of Leannes. And Mythos decides to go for the rear guards, which is good because it forces Dhan to give up a lot of hand just to have options. Now Dhan has to decide whether or not he wants to G-assist, unless he top decked a grade 3. Mythos showing that he has no intention of using Stride if he doesn't need it. And Dhan not giving him a reason to need it right now. Silent Tom in the rear guard. 2 passes. Well, 2 passes a unit that only gets 1 drive check. Attacks Blaster Blade, which Mythos doesn't care because he did drive check 1. Mythos has Blaster Dark. He could end it on his turn. It's very possible to do that. Blaster Blade in the rear guard, and he's attacking. Dhan no guards, draw trigger appears. And perfect guard. So is he going to give the power to Tom and try to save it from destruction, or is he going to give it to Vanguard so he doesn't take as much damage? Gives it to Vanguard, preventing damage, which means he has to guard for Tom if he wants to keep it on the field. And he's probably going to have to guard 10k twice, which he just can't do, so he lets it die early. Second attack is to the Vanguard, and he has 5k to block. Dhan is doing everything he can to not G-assist, which makes sense because he has low hand anyway. When I was in my match, I only had 2 cards in hand and G-assisted because I looked at the situation and realized I could win if I did. Dhan isn't in that situation right now, so he's better off not doing it than doing it. Calls another Silent Tom. And Mythos drops a 2-pass to a 1 drive check unit. Lozenge Magus appears, which means the heal trigger does go off. Tom gets power. Mythos isn't in a position where he needs to guard it. Especially because it's at the Vanguard. But since he can and get an unflip from it, he does. Things savor to the drop to draw, meaning he does use those units. He does use Legion. It means there's a Blaster Blade Seeker somewhere in there as well. Dhan no guards the Vanguard and a critical appears. And Blaster Blade Seeker. $15k to Tom. And it does not have to hit the Vanguard, it just has to hit. Blaster Dark is in hand, so if that Blaster Blade is allowed to stay, then he's going to do MLB on the next turn, which will end it. And Dhan is still not getting his grade 3. You can see his grade 3s here in the damage, Susanoo and Jelly. He's just having really bad luck getting them into his hand. From what I can tell from here, his deck is 12 critical, which this is the problem with a 12 critical Oracle Think Tank, is that you run into this problem a lot, not being able to build hand. That's a critical trigger, but Mythos has no reason to care. 13k to Blaster Blade. Mythos can easily guard that. He uses Seeker to guard. So all he has to do is call Blaster Dark, like that. Attacks with the rear guard first, so Blaster Blade is doing something as an attack. 10k guards, and now 22k to the Vanguard. 2 critical, perfect guards. So if a trigger appears, which it didn't, so can he guard Majesty? Yes, he can. Even if a grade 3 is top decked right now, it won't help Dhan enough for him to actually end this match in his favor. Calls Psychic Bird and puts it to Soul to draw. I suppose that's why he did that in the first place, is so that he could try to get the grade 3. This isn't going to hit, and Critical Trigger goes to rear guard, and that just takes a 5k block, so he does. Mythos actually only has 9 cards in deck, so calls a full field from his hand. 20k to the Vanguard. He has a 10k in hand, and another 10k, so that's a 2 pass. Even still, he can't guard either of the rears. And 6 damage is not a heal. End of the game. Mythos wins. DS wins. It's hard to call this a good game considering Dhan was on grade 2 the entire match against a deck that actually doesn't care if your opponent is at grade 3 or not. But well done to all who took part. Sorry for the bad fortune, Dhan. See everyone next time. Which actually might be soon because we do have another TB scheduled.